Hey everyone, this is Tim Knight, suffering severe blogger's guilt here. I haven't been contributing as much to the blog as usual. Um, I still am doing like 5 posts a day, but they're not particularly verbose. And I wanted to talk a bit about the market in general here. And forgive me if this graph's just going to stay on the screen for a minute or two while I just wax prosaic here, but I just wanted to start this with a preamble. The reason behind the title of the post, Someone's Getting Fooled, um, has to do with my own, and this is probably healthy, but creeping self-doubt about what on earth is going to happen in the market over the coming months. Um, More and more people that I respect and who are quite intelligent and successful are basically saying, look, uh, the country's been saved, the financial system's been saved, the zeitgeist is improving, everything's going to work out and be fine. The whole hubbub about economic problems is so late 2008, and it's history now, and everything's moving up, and things are going to be fine. And these aren't crazy deluded nutcases. These are people close to me. These are people who as I said, are successful. And it gives me concern because, on the other hand, there's plenty of other people I respect, to some degree myself, who thinks that this is just a big snow job. And it has simply been extended farther than any of us here have anticipated. So somebody's wrong, and somebody's being a dummy. And I absolutely hold out the possibility it could be me. I, more than ever, am open to the notion that maybe we're in the equivalent of 2003 again, and things are just going to keep climbing, stumble here, stumble there, but generally, as with most of human history, on the way up. And this whole looking for stuff to short thing is a big fat waste of time and money. So that's a little troubling to your host. But this is not, let's just jump on board and buy things left and right. I still, if pressed, believe that this is a big snow job, but it is bothersome to me that a lot of smart people think that I'm wrong. I would wrap that up by saying that these same people, if you talk to them in the middle of 2007, believe me, would not have been talking about the imminent collapse. They would have been talking about how things are fine and dandy then too. So plenty of smart people were wrong then, but don't know. Since we're on this self-doubt shtick, that's why I brought up this piece of ancient history back in the 30s on the Dow. And those who've been following my blog even a little bit know that I've long held this analog of the 37 to 42 market, and I'm really having doubts about that now just because things are falling so far afield from that I frankly don't know what is next. What I used to hold to was that this plunge here was kind of the equivalent of the 2000 to 2002 wipeout. And then this multi-year climb was the 2003 to 2007 climb. This big drop here was the 2008 slash early 2009 drop. And then zooming up here closer, this jump here, this is basically, again, referring to our current time. This was kind of March, April, May 2009. This brief tumble here was late June, early July 2009. And this final surge up, right up to here, was August, September, October through January. So basically the top here ostensibly was January 19 of this year. Now, had that analog held true, what I was anticipating was, and I've said this many times, nothing apocalyptic, none of this Dow 1000 stuff. My premise was that we would have this choppy market generally going down, but a series of ups and downs, which would wind their way up. Let's get back here to this, which would eventually wind their way up, bottoming a little bit below where we were in March 2009. So I was looking for the Dow to be 5 or 6,000, the S&P to be 600 or so, several years from now. That was the analog. Now that held together okay until quite recently, because if we zoom in on this portion here, and I'll get rid of all these drawings, this part here, as you recall from what I was just showing you, we had the climb, the retracement, the final surge. In the January 19 here, sure enough, things did start to fall. And what I expected at that point was we get the fall, then a bit of recovery, then a bigger fall, and it's kind of sawtooth our way down. That isn't what happened. What happened instead, so up until here, about Feb 2 or so, more like Feb 19 or so, things were still lining up nicely. So around here, I would have expected things to kind of fall apart again and for us to get down to 9,600 or something like that. Isn't what happened. We have just gone up with the bulls pointing all their middle hooves at us as we just climb higher, basically each day to new highs. Day after day after day, new high, new high, new high, new high. I mean, what's the count now? It's like the 21 out of the past 25 sessions have been up, something insane like that. So doesn't fit with the analog and is a level of strength that's kind of unprecedented in terms of consistency. Now, looking back here, we may not even get off this one index chart. Looking back here at the big picture, and again, removing my little drawn objects, I look at this and, I mean, I don't know, I guess if something insane happens, like inflation really takes hold and nominally we go up, but the actual value is not increasing, I suppose this thing could just keep flying higher to 15,000, 16,000, 20,000, name anything you want. Setting aside the notion of a rapidly collapsing currency, I don't look at this and get excited about stocks to buy. I recognize that the Apples of the world, and we'll bring up Apple here, the Apples of the world reach new lifetime highs every day. I recognize that. There are stocks out there which are just seem to be caelum est fini. There's no limit to them. But I really have trouble looking at the big indexes. We'll change the S&P here, and just ripping off the bear suit and saying you're crazy. Here again is the S&P. The jump over the past 13 months is so big and so sharp that even on a basically century's worth of data, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't see on here any instance, with the exception of this one here, back in the mid-30s, any instance where we've had that steady and quick and unrelenting a rise. And as far as all these lovely little studies go, we're still pressing our heads against the upper limits here. I saw a comment the other day which I emphatically agree with, which and he was commenting more about a different publication, but also something we're hearing a lot these days, which is any day now. We're about it's sort of the reverse of prosperity is just around the corner, calamity is just around the corner. It's real soon. Everything's just so overbought, and it just doesn't seem to ever happen. I imagine that there's just hardly any bears left because it's been profoundly unprofitable and agonizingly frustrating. And so, and you can hear my own tremendous levels of doubt here about what's going to happen next. I think all of us are quite confused. The only good thing I can say about my own behavior in this has been risk management, and stops have really mitigated the losses. But rather make money than have small losses. Thanks very much. Anyway, that's it for me, and probably not that satisfying on your end, but I just had to say a few words. So that's it for me. Good night, everybody. End of the quarter's upon us.